Welcome back everyone, it is Mike from Mana Hoarders bringing you a brand new commander deck tech for an Azorius commander, Hylda of the Icy Crown. You can cast this commander for 2 a white and a blue. You get a 3/4 human warlock that has a lot going on. Whenever you tap an untapped creature your opponents control, you may pay 1 mana of any color, and when you do, choose one of the following abilities. Create a 4/4 white and blue elemental creature token, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, or scry 2 and then draw a card. Now for me personally, I feel like the amount of value this commander can generate is absolutely insane. I also like the fact that there's sort of a reward mechanic for controlling the board and tapping down your opponent's creatures. Now before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a look at our price point. The final price for this build came in at $53.91. This does include the price of our commander and all of our lands, but I will remind you that some of these prices will vary greatly depending on the quality of the cards you purchase, the vendor you use, and a variety of other factors. Now let's go ahead and dive into the deck. I have decided to take a different approach from what I am used to, and have instead broken down the cards based on their function in the deck, rather than strictly their card type. So let's take a look at some of our protection pieces. Since our commander is absolutely vital to our game plan, we want to make sure she can get onto the board and stay there. First up we have Lauren's Escape. Target artifact or creature gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, and we scry 1. Glint can give target creature we control +0/+3 and give it hexproof until end of turn. Blossoming Calm can give us hexproof, we gain 2 life, and it has rebound. Lazotep Plating will allow us to amass 1, and then us and permanents we control also gain hexproof until end of turn. And a personal favorite of mine, Dive Down. Target creature we control gets +0/+3 and gains hexproof. Moving on to our next section, aptly named our Tappers. These are all of the cards that will allow us to tap down our opponent's creatures. Starting with Puppeteer, we can pay blue and tap it, and we may tap or untap target creature. Bluster Squall can tap target creature we don't control. We can also overload it for 3 and a blue. Hammers of Moradin is a 3/3 with Myriad. Also, whenever it attacks for each opponent, tap up to 1 target creature that player controls. Gold Meadow Harrier, we can pay a white and tap it to tap target creature. With Hidden Strings, we can tap or untap up to 2 target permanents. Also, with the Cipher ability, whenever the encoded creature deals combat damage to a player, we can cast a copy of Hidden Strings for free. One of the best cards in the deck, Opposition, we can tap an untapped creature we control to tap target artifact, creature, or land. This means that when we are creating a 4/4 token from our commander, we can then use Opposition to tap it, to tap down another creature, pay the 1, create another token, and a rinse and repeat to fill up our board. Diavenant Trapper, whenever we cast a historic spell, we can tap target creature and opponent controls. Icy Manipulator, we can pay 1 and tap it to tap target artifact, creature, or land. Gideon's Lawkeeper, again, we can pay a white and tap it to tap target creature. With Grasp of the Hieromancer, the enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has, whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. As an excellent 2-for-1 giant killer, we can use the Chop Down ability to destroy target creature with power 4 or greater, and then we also have a tap ability where we can pay 1 and a white and tap it to tap target creature. Ballyknock Trapper, we can simply tap it to tap down a creature. Also, whenever we play a white spell, we can untap Ballyknock Trapper. Blinding Mage is a 1 and tap to tap target creature. And the same can be said for the Akroan Mastiff. Another pet card of mine that I run in nearly every blue deck, Sleep. We tap all creatures target player controls, then those creatures don't untap during that player's next untap step. For some consistent value, we have Citadel Siege. Whenever it ETBs, we want to choose dragons, and then, at the beginning of combat on each opponent's turn, tap target creature that player controls. With Gavany Trapper, we can pay 2 of any color and tap it to tap target creature. Whipquarter is another one. We can pay a white man and tap it to tap target creature. The same can be said for Master Decoy and Benelish Trapper. We also have Timon Youthful Geist. It is a 3/4 with flying, and at the beginning of each combat, tap up to 1 target creature. Since we are running the Ice Queen, it is appropriate to include her crown, Hylda's Crown of Winter. We can pay 1 and tap it to tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate during our turn, and for some added value, we can pay 3 and sacrifice it to draw a card for each tapped creature our opponents control. With Tide Force Elemental, we can pay a blue and tap it to tap or untap another target creature. Also, whenever a land enters, we can untap the elemental. And an excellent card in this deck, Tempest Caller. Whenever it enters the battlefield, tap all creatures target opponent controls. Now, since our commander does generate a ton of value whenever we are tapping down these creatures, it doesn't hurt to have a few extra cards that offer some payoff. First, we have Borrowing 100,000 Arrows. We draw a card for each tapped creature target opponent controls. And Theft of Dreams does the exact same thing. With Betrayal, we can only enchant a creature an opponent controls, but whenever the enchanted creature becomes tapped, we can draw. We have Rhoda, Geist Avenger, the partner of Timon, Youthful Geist. She is a 3/3 with Vigilance. Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped, if it was not being declared as an attacker, she gets a 1/1 counter. Verity's Circle, whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped, if it is not being declared as an attacker, we can draw. We can also pay 4 and a blue to tap target creature without flying. And another new commander option from Wilds of Eldraine, Charade of the Numbing Depths. Whenever she ETBs, we tap target creature and give it a stun counter. Also, whenever we tap one or more untapped creatures our opponents control, we draw, but this ability only triggers once each turn. Now next up, I do want to cover the artifacts that will be helping us out with some mana generation, but I do want to pinpoint 1000-Year Elixir. We can activate abilities of creatures we control as though they have haste, so they can ETB and then we can start using those tap abilities immediately. We also have a Marble Diamond, it enters tapped, but we can tap it for a white mana. And Sky Diamond does the exact same thing, but we can tap it for a blue. Arcane Signet gives us one color of our commander's color identity. Commander Sphere does the same thing, but we can sacrifice it to draw a card. With Azorius Signet, we can pay 1 and tap it to add a white and a blue. And Wayfarer's Bauble, we can pay 2 and tap it and sacrifice it to search our library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. Now for me personally, being in blue, I feel like it wouldn't be right if we didn't have some counter spells. With Mana Leak, we can counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. With Essence Scatter, we can counter target creature spell. Lose Focus will counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. And Assimilate Essence can counter a creature or battle spell unless its controller pays 4. Negate will simply counter any target non-creature spell. Essence Capture will counter those creature spells and put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature we control. Bring the Ending can counter target spell unless the controller pays 2, and Quench will do the exact same thing. Now we do have a good bit of targeted removal, specifically taking advantage of the fact that we can tap down our opponent's creatures. First we have Swift Response, destroy target tapped creature. Swords to Plowshares can exile target creature and its controller gains life equal to its power. Runic Shot can destroy target tapped creature, but if we kicked it, we can scry too. Seal Away has Flash. Whenever it ETBs, we can exile target tapped creature until Seal Away leaves the battlefield. Take Vengeance can destroy target tapped creature. And finally, we have Piercing Rays and Expel. They can both exile target tapped creature. Now, since our commander does put 1/1 counters on all of our creature, I feel like that is a good ability we can take advantage of. With Anok Bondkin, each creature we control with a 1/1 counter has first strike. With a little bit of crossover with the tap ability, Elite Scale Guard. Whenever a creature we control with a 1/1 counter on it attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. Abzan Battle Priest, each creature we control with a 1/1 counter has lifelink. And Abzan Falconer, each creature we control with a 1/1 counter has flying. Mikaeus the Lunarch enters the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it. We can tap him to put a 1/1 counter on him. We can also tap him to remove a 1/1 counter from Mikaeus, and put a 1/1 counter on each other creature we control. With Sage of Fables, we can pay 2, remove a 1/1 counter from target creature we control to draw a card. And Skatewing Spy will also give each creature we control with a 1/1 counter flying. And last but not least is our mana base. We are going to be keeping things very basic, with 18 basic plains and 17 basic islands. And there you have it, that is our budget deck tech for Hylda of the Icy Crown. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, tell your friends about us, and let me know in the comments below if you'll be adding this commander to your collection. I really appreciate all of your support, and I'll see you next time.